Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, grateful recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get some out of it. Sorry, guys, out of breath, running up and down the stairs. Oh, what a busy day. Yeah, between this storm and the cold snap we've had, I've had frozen pipe calls coming in, and you know what? I used to just walk away and tell them, go get some heaters, and you know what? I found ways to get inside walls and wrap pipe heating wires around. I fixed 2 water heaters today. I 3 frozen pipe calls. Went and fine tuned all the snow stuff with the machines. Just if this is any sign of how booked and busy and how sought after I'm going to be for this coming year, I'm going to get to my goals so much faster than I thought. And it's beautiful. It just teaches me every day that I got to do my daily inventory, and I've got to pay attention to work that's coming in. A lot of spot calls come in, emergency stuff, so I'm learning to pivot and make good decisions in a moment's notice. And guys, the money's just coming in faster than I ever dreamed possible, and it's just, never mind the monetary rewards, although it's a great way to mark how my business is going. It's the amount of appreciation my customers show me. It's the amount of stuff I find ways to be more efficient and get more done, and then the ways that I find to go out of my way during all of this to uplift others and do good things. I was out helping people dig out cars again today, moving snow off aprons for people just out of the kindness of my heart, because it makes me feel good about who I am. Guys, a year in, and things are just starting to ramp up in the most beautiful ways, because I'm learning how to live this new life of mine, and that's it's the gift that just keeps on giving. Also happens to be the title of today's reading, guys, Learning How to Live. Again, I say it all the time. I love doing these readings and then looking to see how they show up in my life, and they're so prominent, and it just shows me I'm tapped in with my recovery, and I'm tapped in and doing exactly what I should be doing. That's why I'm happy, right? Guys, learning how to live again. We learn new ways to live. We are no longer limited to our old ideas. Thank you, Lord. We may or may not have been taught right from wrong in other basics of life as children. No matter. By the time we found recovery, most of us had only the vaguest idea of how to live. I certainly didn't. Our isolation from the rest of society had caused us to ignore basic human responsibilities and develop bizarre survival skills to cope with the world we were living in. God, doesn't that sum it up? Some of us did not know how to tell the truth. Others were so frank that we wounded everybody we talked to. Some of us couldn't cope with the simplest of personal problems, while others attempted to fix the problems of the entire world. Some never got angry, even when receiving unfair treatment, and others busily lodged complaints against everyone and everything. Whatever our problems, no matter how extreme, we all have a chance in recovery to learn how to live anew. Perhaps we need to learn kindness and how to care about others. Perhaps we need to accept personal responsibilities, or maybe we need to overcome fear and take some risks. We can be certain of one thing: each day, simply by living life, we will learn something new. And the affirmation is, just for today, I know more about how to live than I did yesterday, but not as much as I will know tomorrow. Today, I will learn something new. And guys, again, it's a great benchmark of where you're at, and I love the fact that it's exactly what I see and I talk about regularly. I'm getting so much more done. I'm shocking myself. There were parts of the day when I'm today in general, I was on the phone scheduling stuff, and 5 more calls came in, and I'm literally by the last ones, I'm there's no possible way I'm gonna get there today. But I'm listen, I can't guarantee it. Understand the storm, it is what it is. I've been going ballistic since Friday. I'll do my best. I'll check in with you a little bit later in the day and let you know. And then 2 hours later, I'm hey, I just knocked out 5 calls. I can be there in a half hour. And people really? And it's beautiful, right? And every one of them comes with a service call attached. Just boom, 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 right? God, it's absolutely beautiful. But beyond that, yes, the money is nice, guys. Don't get me wrong. And again, I'm just stacking it in the bank so that I can buy a property. but I'm getting there faster and faster. Like when I said, oh, by the end of 2026, well, now I'm thinking June. Like, and that could be knocked down next month to, to May. I mean, who knows? But regardless, I'm not going to rush the process. I'm just answering the calls as they come in, answering the call of service as they come in, and being of service to my higher power, God, who has given me everything. The fact that I've done such a complete and utter transformation is like the reason behind my success, the reason that I'm getting so many accolades, and the reason that I like who I am and I actually get up and try to do better every day, because I love the fact that I made this commitment to stop making these videos every day and to sacrifice my privacy by putting my life out here online in full trust that God would deliver on the promises that I was getting in meditation, that if I did this and I documented it and I did it to the best of my abilities, it would be a shocking transformation. And then lo and behold, I'm getting sought after from every direction because I provide faster, better, and more reasonably priced services than anybody else out there. I do offer more services than anybody else out there. The word of that is spreading. With the winter, I'm getting more and more calls of people who want to be paid to have me come because I do a nicer job in a more timely fashion. Like I stuck out in every crowd, and boy, if you go back to my earliest videos, what did I tell you I was going to try to do? Find a way to stand out in every crowd. Guys, you can do this. Like if I can do this, anybody can do this. Yes, I've been given a beautiful set of skills, right? But we all have gifts, and I've just finally started doing a daily inventory, started doing things that allowed me to be confident about myself, and then paying attention to things that I'm doing that were working and things that weren't. If they were important to me, I found ways to improve upon them, and then I leaned stronger into and marketed the things that I was doing well, and then all and behold, not doing anything that didn't allow me to feel good about myself. So that meant, like, guys, I'm not proud to say it, but like one of the things I used to do is I'd go in the Home Depot every day with my former boss, and I'd steal fittings and this and that, and not get anything out of it. Like, why would you do something like that for nothing? Like, you don't steal, period. I hate thieves. I hate scammers. I never scammed anybody. I was always honest and worked my money. But, the disease of addiction certainly caused me to make commitments that I didn't follow through on. Not that I had any intention of being that way, and it bothered me when I did. I don't do that anymore, guys. I honor every commitment I make. I may have to call and reschedule it, but I do what it takes to get it done. And that's the thing, guys. I don't just say yes to everything like I used to. Now I say no. I already have other commitments. Like, I can only do what I can do, and I put my needs first. I put the things that matter to me first. I put God first, my needs first, my recovery network first. Like, these are the people that have done everything for me, have given me a place in society, a place in a group, a position of service, and something that allows me to feel good about myself. And guys, what I've done is to answer that call. I've taken these commitments very seriously, and I honor them to the best of my ability. And I do work every single day to make myself better, whether it's my online classes, whether it's my prayer and meditation time. Because let me tell you something, guys, that is something I never knew the value of, so I never put a lot of emphasis in it. And somehow this time around, because it all started with prayer, I dove in deep with it, because that's where I saw the earliest manifestations of miracles within me. These downloads that I was getting from God started coming true in the earliest days, and I'm like, whoa, there's really something to this. Let me dive right in. And so what I've done is really hold myself accountable. And I say this not to butter myself up, but to give you guys action steps to living a better life. If you want, like, stop waiting for anything outside of you, because that's what I hear all the time. Well, I'm waiting for this come, and then I can do this, and then no, guys, you can do anything and you can do everything right now. You may not be able to take the biggest giant step or complete the process, but you can start taking action right this minute that will change your life. It starts with honesty, deep introspection of your behaviors, of your thoughts, of your actions, the way that you look at yourself, the way that you look at other people. Do you think you're better than somebody else? You're not. None of us are, but nobody's better than you either. Don't let anybody step on your toes, and don't step on anybody else's toes. Try to be a part of the solution. Like, one of the things that was the hardest for me, because I hung out with so many people that just love to gossip, and I don't do that today. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, when my former boss gets arrested in front of a job site, of course I call my friend that's his neighbor, and we have a good laugh about it, and we talk about current events. but we're not going out of our way every day to call and gossip about somebody. We're not going out of our way to set somebody up to see somebody fail. If anything, we're going out of our way to uplift as many people as possible. It's why I reach out to so many people in my network. And yes, when other knuckleheads I know and I used to hang around and be one of the knuckleheads with does something, of course we're going to talk about it. But I don't go out of my way to do anything that's going to belittle them. And every time I run into one of them, I offer the lifeline and say, listen, I'm not trying to say you have a problem, but when I was in your shoes doing those things, I was, struggling with addiction, and I couldn't make anything work. And as long as you're making decisions like that, nothing's ever going to work. And I'm not going to co-sign it. I'm not going to bail you out, but I'm not going to, I'm not going to pour gasoline on your fire either. But I'm going to offer you a lifeline and just let you know how much better I'm living today. And that's what's shocking to people. When I run into people that I used to know in my former life, and they hear either directly see me or they hear from other people and I get feedback from it, every one of them is shocked. Because further than the drugs, I've gone deep into this recovery program and worked on myself, healed myself from, I lost my parents when I was 12. My father was a drunk and we didn't get along, and I didn't see the reason he was treating me, and I'm not going to get into all that, but anyway, these things caused me to have very low self-esteem, abandonment issues, codependency. As soon as anybody would show me this little bit of attention, I would never look to see whether it was somebody that needed to be in my life or not, and I would just dive headfirst in. And so I said, okay, well, I got to learn to sit with myself and figure these things out. So I started looking at the good things that I do and the bad things that I do. And lo and behold, 99% of all the bad things I did were because of drugs. And once I got the drugs out of my system, the reason I was saying in early days I had this beautiful clean slate because the drugs had taken over everything. So once I removed them and everything that went with them, and that's where people get into trouble, guys. It's very hard for a lot of people to walk away from your former life. But if there was nothing good in that former life, you've got to let it all go. If you want to reach a new life, you've got to step into a new community, a new society, a new surroundings. Not physically, but you know what I mean? You can't hang on the block and get a college scholarship. You know what I'm saying? I got accepted to Harvard adult education because of the work I was doing in my Riverside recovery, my IOP, because I went in there and I took it very seriously, and I shared my wins, and I for once didn't minimize the work that I was doing. I just shared open and honestly. And when somebody asked me if I would share my link from my YouTube, or if I would make a short video talking about my recovery coach or my advisor, I did these things, and they shared them with other people in the community who were all blown away by the amount of work that I've been doing in recovery. And then next thing you know, boom, I didn't even know there was a scholarship available. I wasn't looking to take night courses. Somebody called me up and said, hey, we think you'd be a great candidate for this. If you're interested, sign up for it. You're going to win it, hands down. And when somebody said that and said, you're offering me a scholarship to Harvard University, you think I'm going to win it hands down? That was mind-blowing to me. It was an absolute miracle. And now, a year later, I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, yeah, of course I was going to win it. I was doing more to stand out in every crowd than anybody else around was. Guys, you can do these things. But you're not going to do it doing the bare minimum. Life is not going to change if you just put down the drugs. Yeah, life will change. But you're not going to find a new way to live. Get into a meeting. Get into a program. Start working the steps. Become part of the community. Pick your path. Find out what makes sense to you, but do it honestly. Do it by actually doing the work, not going through the motions. That's the thing, guys. I used to always just go through the motions of everything. No, I do everything today with intention and purpose. If that doesn't make sense to you, then you need to stop and figure that out, because once you can figure that out, that is the key. The people that succeed, the people that make a difference, they do everything they do with intention and purpose, not just to go do something. I don't go do anything just to kill my time unless it's charity. All right, a perfect example, guys. I made a lot of cash this weekend. So I was on my way to the bank to deposit cash, because it's another thing I don't do is I don't keep extra money on me, because I'll just spend it. And I don't go without anything, but I don't splurge on anything insignificant and silly. I buy things of purpose, and I'll give away money before I spend it on something stupid. And I did. There was a homeless vet standing at the street corner today. And again, I know he's probably doing drugs. He's probably drinking. I don't know. But you know what? Here I am with this pocket full of cash on top of the checks that I'm coming in. I'm on my way to the bank. And I'm like, I was going to give him $1, and I gave him a 5, and I saw 4 other people, and I gave each of them a 5 today. Again, not to say I'm making a difference, but you know what? It's the little things when you do them over and over. That was in conjunction with plowing out 30 people out of snowbanks on top of one of the busiest days I've had in so long. That's what I mean by doing things with intention. I don't let anything run me around and take me out of myself. And my position is to be of service, to promote kindness, to make a difference in every situation. And other people see this, and they see me run around like crazy, and yet stopping to help people out. And they're like, what are you doing? Is he paying you? No, but they look like they needed help. Well, you just said how busy you are. Yeah, I'm out here making a difference. And if I can stop and make a difference, what? It's going to extend my day 20 minutes? I don't let those things difference. That's how I've made a difference. And again, by doing these things, I come home at the end of the day. Then I feel good. No matter how tired I am, I feel good about the actions that I took today, right? So then when I take my inventory at the end of the day, I have more good things to say I did. When I talk to God in my prayers, God, thank you for putting these people in my... And again, 2 or 3 weeks from now, who knows, whatever, something's going to happen where one of these people I helped out is going to pop up in my life in some way, shape, or form, and it's going to make a difference. I'm not doing it for that reason, but I've seen it play out over and over again, guys. No good deed goes unseen. Go out of your way to uplift somebody around you, to make a difference in your community, to help somebody that's struggling, right? There's no better way to be aware of your blessings, and that's the thing, guys. One thing I did was I stopped worrying about what I didn't have. Not one time this year have I sat back and said, oh, I don't have this, I can't do. No. I've looked at the totality of what's in front of me and said, oh, I'm grateful. I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. And all of a sudden, I've expanded upon all these things, and more blessings have just showered down. Guys, I know we understand these things, but it's a totally different scenario when you start living like it, when you actually express your gratitude by being the nicest person, by being uplifting. Because when you walk in crabby, it spreads like a disease. I walk into a room today and I'm so uplifting that it also spreads like a flower blooming, right? I don't want to say disease because it's not a disease, but I uplift others and I bring out better in them because I show up and I demand that standard. I set the standard of kindness, of gratitude, of being appreciative. When somebody's sitting there pissing and moaning, I literally and I don't put them down to make it worse, but I just start speaking about the good I see in it. Oh, what if you look at it this way? At least it's not this, right? Well, what if you... And eventually they stop because they're like, yeah, they just sound ridiculous. It sounds so much... When somebody's sitting there spouting just diarrhea over the mouth over nothing, over life's trivialities, and you're showing, you're speaking your gratitude list and you do it on their pessimisms, the gratitude's going to win out every time, guys. Live introspective. Live with intention. Live with meaning. Put meaning behind every action you do. Things are going to get better. And then it's going to show you how powerful you are. Every one of us are incredibly powerful creators. I was the most powerless person on the planet. And in one short year, I've completely and utterly changed the trajectory of my life, my outlook, and I've aged backwards 10 years. Guys, this is powerful stuff when you do it right. Work your program. Develop conscious contact with your higher power. Be the best version of yourself in every situation. And give yourself grace when you make mistakes. I still fail. I still make mistakes. And I give myself grace, and I just make amends if it's appropriate. And I just try to do better the next time. And lo and behold, life gets better and better constantly. I have found a completely new way to live. I absolutely love this new way to live. And because I challenge myself to learn something every day, I know it's going to get better and better. Guys, that's the video for today. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.